Have you ever been just completely overwhelmed, lost, stuck? In this video, we're going to talk about how no matter how bad the fall, there's always a way back up. Welcome everyone, I'm Matt. Remember to subscribe for more videos on personal growth and motivation. Overwhelm is a horrible feeling. You're doing the best you can. You're doing everything you can, but it's not enough. Your confidence evaporates. You start to lose hope. You start to lose belief. And when you stop and think, you think things like, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. You feel lost. Does this sound familiar? If it does, you're in good company. We all feel this at times. What I've learned though is that when we do feel lost like this, the best thing we can do is keep moving forward and keep making the best decision you can at the time with what you have. That's all we can do. We might not make the right decision. We might not even have good options. It might feel like it's pointless to even try. But whatever cards you've been dealt, you play your hand. You don't get up from the table. You don't go get a glass of water. If you're at the table with the cards in your hand, you play your hand and you play it the best you can every single time. So why is this so important? Well, there's two reasons why, and I'm going to tell you a few stories to illustrate the point. If I think back to the times in my life where I've been most overwhelmed, there's a reoccurring theme, a reoccurring scenario. I'm in a really stressful job, in a stressful environment, around stressed people, and there's a big deadline. I feel pressure on me from all these different directions. And because I'm living in this kind of bubble, I feel like it's going to be the end of the world if I don't meet this deadline. I'm working as hard as I can, but it's not enough. I feel like I'm going backwards. I've got this to-do list I'm working on, but it seems like more items are being added faster than I can get them ticked off. It's so discouraging. But every time this has happened to me, if I just keep moving forward, keep blocking off my time and doing the most important stuff first, blocking off my time, doing the most important things first, eventually, I always reach a tipping point where I get just one more thing done. And suddenly my whole perspective changes. I now look at that to-do list again, and instead of feeling despair, I feel hope. When I stop and think, my mind no longer thinks things like, it's impossible. I can't do this. It's now saying, you know what? I can do this. And that is a powerful mindset shift. And that's the first reason why we gotta just keep making the best decision we can and always keep moving forward. Because no matter how bad things are, no matter how bad they get, it only takes one small win that could completely change your perspective. The second reason to keep moving forward is that if you learn a new idea, the growth is exponential. For the rest of your life, everything else you do is now shaped by that new way of looking at the world. And that means that one small thing, one conversation, one idea, one pearl of wisdom can completely change the trajectory of your life. I'm going to tell you two examples to illustrate this point. I have a friend who for years tried to quit smoking. He tried dozens of times. And every time he tried to do it, he'd throw away all his cigarettes, he'd tell all his friends, he'd throw away the lighters, he'd convince himself that this was the time. But it never worked. Sometimes he lasted weeks, sometimes months, a few times he even went years. But he always went back to smoking. Until one day he had a random conversation with a stranger outside of Starbucks who recommended a book to him on how to quit smoking. Now this friend, he was willing to try anything at this point. And he bought the book that evening and read it that weekend. And just like that, he never smoked another cigarette again. He just stopped. But not only that, when I asked him about it, he didn't just stop. He never even felt like smoking another cigarette again. By the way, if anyone's interested, the book's called An Easy Way to Quit Smoking by Carr. I'll leave a link in the description. And from that point on, his life moved in a completely different direction. There was this fitness class that he had always wanted to join, but he thought he couldn't handle. But now that he quit smoking, he had extra stamina and he ended up signing up. He said, why not? In that class, he met a bunch of new friends who were big into fitness. And the more he hung out with them, the more he found himself exercising. He then found himself eating more healthy. And suddenly you combine quitting smoking, exercising regularly, and eating healthy. And I saw the guy 6 months on, and he looked younger. But it wasn't just his physical appearance that changed. When I asked him about his new lifestyle, he said that he was shocked at how much more energy he had, how much better his mood was. And this positive outlook in life started spreading into all aspects. He became more confident. His career took off, his relationships strengthened. And I can't help but wonder, what would have happened to the direction of that friend's life if he never had that random conversation outside the Starbucks? Would he have quit smoking? Would he have met those friends? Would he have exercised regularly? Would he have eaten healthily? Would he have had all those other positive side effects? One small conversation completely changed the trajectory of his life. The second example I want to give is of a story that I love. There was a boy who at 10 years old was identified with having a learning disability. He was dropped back a year in school and spent the rest of high school in a special education class. One day this teacher, whose class he wasn't even in, walked into the room and said, "Young man, write what I'm about to tell you on the chalkboard." The boy said, "I can't do it." The teacher said, "Why not?" The boy said, "Because I have a learning disability." The teacher walked right up to that boy, looked him dead in the eyes, and said, "Never say that again." Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. That story is the experience of a motivational speaker called Les Brown, who credits that moment with planting the seeds in his mind that changed his life forever and led him to having this incredibly successful career. The lesson is that if you learn a new idea, the growth is exponential. Everything else you do for the rest of your life is now shaped by that new way of looking at the world. And that's why, when you're down, when life has kicked your ass, which it will, when nothing's going right, when it feels like there's no way out, keep going. Make the next best decision you can at the time and keep moving forward, because it can be shocking how quickly things turn around. And because it only takes one small thing, one conversation, one idea, one pearl of wisdom that could completely change the trajectory of your life. My question for you is, has there been an important moment in your life that shaped how you see the world? Tell us about it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I hope this video helped you. If it did, hit the like button, share it. I would love to build a community for ambitious people trying to help each other build better lives. Make sure to subscribe for more videos on personal growth and motivation. And finally, check out some of the other videos. There'll be a link popping up here on the left and in the description below on how to overcome negative emotions and how to stop trying to be a perfectionist. That's it for me, guys. I'm Matt. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.